Today I'm going to show you how to make your wings. This design is a dihedral, so the center section is where the angle is. This design has two lines on the end. It is a tip dihedral. You could have a polyhedral, which would mean you have angles out here and in the center. We're going to start with the dihedral. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your template. You're going to line up the corner and the edge, so you're doing the least amount of cutting as possible, and you're going to trace your wing design onto your material. Then you're going to take a sharp blade and you're going to cut it out. Remember, always cut away from your fingers. So I'm going to turn my piece of wing to where my hand is out of the way as I pull through the material. I am not going to push down on it because it could very easily tear. I am going to let the blade do the cutting until it slides all the way through. Notice it took several passes for that to happen. Then I'm going to turn my material again. My hand is out of the way, and I'm going to follow it along. The first time I'm just scoring it. I am not worried about cutting all the way through the material because I do not want to split my wing material. Next, I'm going to take my wing template and I'm going to put it on my wood. I'm going to mark where that center line is in a couple places. Then you're going to use a straight edge. I'm just going to use my scrap material to draw my center line. Next, on your template, we're finally going to use these pieces that I've been having you save. You're going to line up the dash marks with each other. Okay. I'll line up my dash marks. And then I'm going to tape it down with a piece of tape. This tells me my wing angle. So this is going to fit into this angle when I'm done. Let me put a piece of tape on that. Okay, so my angle, the wings need to come upwards. So the bend is going to be, the cut I'm going to make is on the back side because I want to keep this side intact, and I'm going to explain what that is. So I'm going to actually turn this over. Wait, I'm going to keep it like it is. I'm going to keep it like it is. I'm going to score this side, but this is going to be my back side of my wing. Okay? This is where it's very important. You do not want to cut all the way through material. You just want to score it because you want to try to keep your wings together if possible. It's much easier to glue it. So now I just scored it a little bit. Here's my template for the angle. I'm going to put my thumb here on either side of that scored line, and I'm going to push that direction because this is the back, and I want this to stay together if possible. So I'm going to very gently kind of push that up. And it came apart a little bit here, and that's fine. And then I'm going to conform it to that angle. Once I feel it's in that angle, it's correct, I'm going to take some of my glue It doesn't take much. I'm gonna put a little bit here at the top. I'm gonna go about halfway down right now because it's gonna drip already and I don't want it to stick to the paper too bad. I'm going to form it to that angle like that. I'm gonna hold it at the correct angle. It'll take probably about 20 seconds. All right, I've given it a little bit of time to dry, and so now I have an angle. It matches this angle here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to put it on the other side. I'll just a little bit fill in that gap where it kind of broke a little bit so it keeps that angle. I'm gonna let this dry. Once it's completely dry, I will attach it to my fuselage. While that one's drying, I want to show you the other one. This is my tip dihedral. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up the template. I'm going to trace. Okay, good. I'm going to add my marks for my dihedral, which is at the ends of the wing. If you have a polyhedral, which means you have a tip dihedral and a center angle as well, you're going to mark this as well. Then, using my straight edge that I have left over still, I'm going to draw that line. And then cut out this piece. Again, watching where my fingers are all times, I'm going to move the material to where I am not in danger of getting close to my fingers. I'm going to let the knife do the work as I gently pull through it so I don't split the material. You may want to go ahead and mark that center line on here if you have a tip dihedral, because that also tells you where the center is when you put your wing on your fuselage. All right, so my angle on this outline, notice that it goes upwards at the ends. So I'm going to cut this little portion off where it overlaps. Line up my reference points. Right there. Tape it. Okay. So I'm going to score on the back side here because I want to keep the front side. So I'm going to mark this as the back. Okay. I'm going to score, not all the way through. Careful to keep my fingers out of the way. I'm just gonna go maybe halfway through the width, the depth of the material on that side and on the other side. Not all the way through. If it does come off, it's fine. It's just a little more of a challenge. And then I'm going to thumb on either side, push it away, push it away. Okay, so it's gonna go like this, one angle at a time. I'm gonna put glue on here, let it dry, and then put the rest of it on there. It's at the correct angle as it dries. As I move it, you'll see that it's holding its wing angle. It's still a little damp. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of the glue on. Rest of the glue on here. This needs to completely dry before you do anything else with it. You can put a little bit on here if it came all the way through. Mine really didn't. Just give it a little more strength, but it does add weight, so you want to be very careful. All right, so notice that it doesn't look like much of an angle, but if you put it on there, they match up. And that is when it lays flat, you can see the different angle. All right, I'm gonna let it dry, and that is a tip dihedral.